Hi everyone! Welcome back to another Animal Crossing Pocket Camp video. So in today's video I thought I'd do a campsite tour because I haven't done one of these in ages. I haven't really played much of Pocket Camp lately, to be honest, but I recently played it for quite a while and redecorated my campsite, and this campsite theme is actually based around Pixie Hollow from the Tinkerbell movies. So let's start looking around. So over here is the little restaurant eating area. This is where I imagine all the fairies eat their dinner when they're celebrating an arrival of a new fairy, and during the autumn season they all sit here and eat yummy food together, and there's a big tree stump table as well. I really love this table because there's so many little candles and leaves and fairy lights all over it, so I think it's perfect for a fairy themed campsite. I have a little pumpkin pie over here on this tree trunk and a little bowl of fruit as well that I imagine the fairies have been harvesting, all in front of this really beautiful fairy jar which was from Diana's fairy cookie, I think. And over here on the right is a little campfire area with Blue Bear, Tom Nook and Celeste. If you didn't notice, Blue Bear is dressed up like a snow fairy. And I really love these special items with the characters like Tom Nook and Celeste. And I just think that Celeste would really love to sit here by the campfire and look at the stars. This area also really reminds me of the scene in Tinkerbell and the Secret of the Wings, where Tinkerbell and Periwinkle sit by the fire together. So yeah, it really reminds me of that. Obviously there's no snow around at the moment, but I'll have to add the winter woods at another time. Maybe in winter would be a good idea. And so of course in the centre over here we have the entrance to my campsite, which is made from these really beautiful tulip pathways and this big flower arch, which I think was from Parvey's flower event years ago. If I just use my camera to show you. Behind the flower arch I've put these beautiful wind chimes, which are one of my favourite items in Pocket Camp because they make the most beautiful sound effect. Hopefully you can hear it, but it makes your campsite so relaxing, especially if you turn the music off. So if you have this item, I do recommend you put it in your campsite and turn the music off. So if we actually head through the archway into Pixie Hollow, first thing we see is this beautiful waterfall. This is where I imagine the water fairies hang out. I made this using a variety of different blue items like these blue flowers. I put a little rock on top of this rug and I put the water fountain over it, and also another fountain behind it which I think is from one of Colton's cookies. I can't actually remember where this blue glowing waterfall was from. And over here we have Katie as well, who's enjoying the spring season. I imagine this is the spring area of Pixie Hollow. So over here we have tons of butterflies, this big tall lilac flower, we have these massive pink cosmos. We have these beautiful little lanterns sitting by the waterfall, which I imagine are there to celebrate the different seasons. And we have the beautiful flower store over here, this glowing pink crystal, so many flower pots. We have a dewdrop hedge and this beautiful sakura tree with some ginkgo trees in the background as well, since Pixie Hollow celebrates all the seasons. And so if we head over to the left, we have this huge pink flower. And next to it we have this beautiful lamp which has like roses and leaves all up it. I think it looks so beautiful. Here we have Chelsea, who's relaxing in this little jar which has this really beautiful glowing lily of the valley in it and these little orbs. I just think it's so beautiful, and I imagine it's like a little fairy house. And next to that we have this very lit up hammock which Etoile is really enjoying. I love the little lanterns hanging off of it. They look like little fairy jars, and behind it we have a really beautiful pink wishing well which I imagine the fairies go and make wishes there. And of course over to the left we have my garden, which just has pink flowers in it from the most recent event, which was the one with Zipper. I haven't planted any new flowers yet, but I really like those ones, so I'll probably keep them for a while, to be honest. So if we head over to the right now, we head all the way back to this beautiful cherry blossom tree. Over to the right in the center of the campsite we have the pixie dust tree, and I made this out of this tree sofa item which is covered in fairy lights which look like pixie dust. And I put these little clovers and flowers around it. I've got the little fairy roost item which looks exactly like Tinkerbell's house, which is one of my favourite items in the game as well. I made the grass and wheat go perfectly in line with the pixie dust tree so you can see the change in seasons. And I also used this honey fountain which I think looks exactly like the pixie dust falling out of the pixie dust tree, don't you guys think? If you haven't watched the movies I'm talking about, basically there's this massive tree that all the pixie dust comes down from, and I really tried to recreate that. Obviously I can't make the tree as big as it is in the movies, but I tried my best. And over here we have the fairy circle, which is where fairies are born. They turn up here and they get to choose their talent, and I made it from pink and red and brown mushrooms and little tree trunks as well. Bunny and Lily are enjoying it. Can you guess which sort of fairy talent both of them have? I actually made a reel on my Instagram where I made different outfits based on the fairy talents, and I made all the outfits to match each fairy talent in Pocket Camp, so if you want to go see that, it's on my Instagram. You can let me know in the comments that you came from my video and tell me which talent you think you'd have. There's a plain trunk on the left side, and the right trunk has all these leaves and acorns and mushrooms since we're heading into the autumn woods. But before we head over there, we have these beautiful sunflowers, which I think are perfect for the light fairies and the flower fairies, of course. They're really cute to take a picture behind as well. And over here we have this really yummy looking mushroom stew, which I imagine all the fairies drink after they've celebrated their new arrival of the latest fairy. So over here we have a flue, and we have lots of these little candles in leaves around. We have autumn berries, stars, mushrooms, holly bushes, these beautiful orange and yellow butterflies, and this big autumn tree which Fang is really enjoying. Can you tell I dressed him up as a tinker fairy? He's like a cross between Peter Pan and a tinker fairy. I like to think that maybe something happened to his wings, so he created these mechanical wings for himself. Over here we have Pecan and Ruby, who are sleeping in the autumn woods. We have this massive orange mushroom item which I really love, and behind it we have Pecan, who's asleep on a little acorn. She's so cute. And we have this beautiful silver crystal and honey pot. The silver crystal doesn't fit the autumn woods very much, but I like to imagine that the winter woods is off to the right past the river, since we didn't have enough room to actually put it in the campsite. And in front of Ruby over here we have these beautiful rivers cornering off this little windmill and picnic area. So I was inspired a lot by the Tinker area in Tinkerbell movies, but also the area where the dust fairies work, because they work in this like big windmill type thing. So it's kind of a cross between the two. It's really cute because the campers will come and have a picnic here if I just try to get them to come over. There we go, so Chelsea's here. And yeah, they look so cute when they're having a picnic here, especially with the flowery picnic basket and the little fenced off tulips and everything. And now Blue Bear is using the flute, because we all know flutes are the only instrument for fairies. I just think flute music just sounds so perfect for fairies, so I made sure to include a flute in the campsite. And that's basically everything in the campsite. I won't be doing a tour of my camper van or cabin, though I know you guys always ask for one, but I just really can't decorate them as well as I can my campsite, and I just worked really hard on this campsite design and idea, so I'd really love to hear what you guys think of it, because I really love it, and I think it would be really fun in winter time as well to try and maybe swap out spring or autumn for the winter woods and change it up. I hope that if any of you are fans of the Tinkerbell movies that you like looking at my campsite and maybe it gave you some inspiration. If you've never watched those movies, I hope you enjoyed it anyway, since I know fairies have become really popular recently, especially in the Animal Crossing community, which makes me really happy because obviously you guys know, if you've been around for a while, I've always loved fairies and even had a fairy themed city folk town, but we didn't actually get to do hardly anything to do with fairies in it. Yeah, back in Fayloon, my city folk town. Yeah, I've just always been a big fan of fairies, so I know that a lot of new people are interested in fairies, especially in Animal Crossing, and we have so many beautiful fairy items in Pocket Camp especially, so I hope this gives you some inspiration of things you could do with the campsite. As you can see, I tried to make the summer area where the pixie dust tree is right in the center of the campsite, and some tips I have is to remove any amenities that don't match your theme so that you have more room to place items that match the idea you're going for. That's what I did. I don't have any amenities in my campsite anymore. And if you haven't played Pocket Camp in a long time, you might be surprised by how many things I've fit in my campsite, because there was an update where you can place loads of items absolutely all over your campsite now. So that was a really amazing update which made decorating the game so much easier. Let me know what you think of my choice of villagers in my campsite, because I think they match really well. I'd really love to hear in the comments what type of fairy talent you think you have. Animal fairy, snow fairy, water fairy, tinker fairy, flower fairy, or a dust keeper fairy. Let me know. And also, if you want to see different outfits I made for the different fairy types, please go check out my Instagram, because I posted a reel of it. I do get comments of people asking me to create videos about my outfits I've made in Pocket Camp, so yeah, if you wanted to see some outfits, they're over on my Instagram. But yeah, that was my campsite. Sorry for rambling on. I know this was a short video, but I just know I haven't done a campsite tour in so long. I just felt like doing it because I was really proud of how this one turned out, and I just want you guys to know that you can still make your campsite look really cute without spending many leaf tickets, without buying too many terrains, and without even using amenities rarities really, because I bought this cherry blossom terrain years ago and I've used it in all my campsite designs basically, and even though I wish I had like the fairy one and everything, I can still manage to make something look good with just that one. So yeah, I think it turned out okay. I'd really love to know what you guys think of it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you're having a super lovely day. Let me know in the comments which sort of fairy is your favourite, and let me know, does your campsite have a specific theme at the moment, and if it does, what is your theme? I'd be really interested to know. But that's all for today guys, so as always, thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Subscribing to my channel is free and it really helps me out, so if you felt like it, subscribing would really help me out and mean a lot to me. And I just hope you're having a super wonderful and lovely day. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll speak to you in my next video. Bye!